For discerning listeners. Starr 103.5 FM.
Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to the Starr Midday News. Starr News. Coming up in the next 45 minutes, former Power Minister Dr. Kwabena Donkor warns of dire consequences as the government decides to operate a Bui hydroelectric dam 24/7 amidst general shortfall.
Bui power with the Bui dam, which is being run as base load 24 hours. The net effect is that the water level come next year will run dry.
We'll hear more from Dr. Kwabena Donkor, who is also demanding that the Public Utility Regulatory Commission call the Electricity Company of Ghana to order over its planned upgrade of the new meters, which will disrupt vending services.
The current MPP administration is basically digging a big hole for the next administration. I expect to hear the regulator, PURC, speak to this. How many people know the type of meters they even? So why should ECG's maintenance impact on my ability to buy my power package?
Also ahead in the bulletin, Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association accused police service of overstepping its boundaries over arrest of Wuntumi FM's Oheneba Asiedu for allegedly engaging in disinformation, insisting it's a job of the NMC to crack the whip.
Of the National Media Commission, allowing the police to take the whole reaction in a major media disinformation event that directly oversteps the constitutional mandate of the NMC is troubling.
Also ahead in the bulletin, governance experts describes majority leader's recall of parliament as unnecessary as he labels the 8th parliament as the worst in Ghana's democratic history.
Left to me alone, this parliament should limp to the end. I wish they never meet. I wish they don't even meet to dissolve. Look at how they started. It is a mirror of how they're going to end.
But MPP Member of Parliament for Anyasa Utum, Dr. Adomako Kisi, disagrees, arguing the recall is in the best interests of Ghana.
I think we need to rise above pettiness and put Ghana first. I'm talking not today necessarily as MPP, but I'm saying that the recall is in the interest of Ghana.
And later on the campaign trail, we'll hear from the Inspector General of Police, who is urging citizens to report troublemakers to the service for swift arrest, insisting they are prepared to face persons who disturb the peace on election day.
Bui power with the Bui dam, which is being run.
Apologies for that. Details of these stories and many more, including sports, are coming up in the next 45 minutes. Stay tuned in. Starr News is coming to you live on Ultimate 106.9 FM in Kumasi, Empire 102.7 FM in Takrady, Zeps 95.9 FM in Zebila, Nissim 100.1 FM in Lamshao, MyStar Radio in the USA, also live on Facebook on Starr 103.5 FM and on starfm.com.gh around the world. This is Starr 103.5 FM. Starr News. Informed, in depth, in touch. You're welcome once again to the Starr Midday News on Starr 103.5 FM with me, Dedei, Tettey. Let's start off with an issue that is dear to many Ghanaians, issues relating to power. And former Power Minister Dr. Kwabena Donkor is warning that government's decision to operate the Bui Dam around the clock could be catastrophic. For about a month, the government has been operating the dam 24 hours a day instead of the recommended 8 hours during peak periods. Now, the move is in response to power generation challenges owing to inadequate fuel supply and debt to independent power producers. Now, speaking to me on the Morning Star, the Pro East MP said the development is putting the sustainability of the dam at risk.
The information we have is that for the past month or so, Bui Power with the Bui Dam, which is designed as a peaking plant to be operated only during peak demand hours from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m., is being run as base load 24 hours, and it's been going on for a month or so. The net effect is that the water level come next year can get extremely low. That Bui Power, the hydro side, will run dry, and so we'll have no power for the hydro side. That will compound the existing problem. But when you do that for a month,
you had the former Power Minister, Dr. Kwabena Donkor. He's also been speaking to ECG's announcement of some system upgrade in relation to its Newry meters. Well, he is demanding that the Public Utility Regulatory Commission, authority, I beg your pardon, call the Electricity Company of Ghana to order. Now, this follows ECG's warning of potential power supply interruptions for users of the Newry prepaid meter. In a statement, ECG explained that the disruption was due to an urgent upgrade of all STS metering systems. The ECG has urged users of this specific meter to top up with at least 1 month's worth of credit. Here are details of a statement issued by the Electricity Company of Ghana.
The Electricity Company of Ghana Limited wishes to inform our cherished customers using the Newry prepayment meters that as part of the Standard Transfer Specifications STS protocol, it has become urgent to upgrade all STS metering systems, including the Newry prepayment system. Please buy enough top-up credit that will last for at least 1 month in order not to experience vending disruptions that might arise out of the ongoing Newry meter upgrading exercise. Please note that this is a crucially mandatory STS upgrade designed to ensure uninterrupted vending service.
You heard the details of a statement issued by the Electricity Company of Ghana. Well, we have been engaging some customers on this announcement by the ECG. Have a listen to what some of them had to say in relation to this announcement by the Electricity Company of Ghana.
Yeah, I think I use the smart one. I think it's going to take a huge toll on customers or consumers, especially in these economic times where people are actually going through it, the economic hardship and all that. So sometimes buying for just a week or two is even a challenge for most people. So if suddenly you are going to endure this as to buy for a whole month, and Christmas time is coming, we have other expenses that you have to deal with. And so if this is an unplanned something that you suddenly have to dig out of your pocket in these times, it's going to be a huge challenge for most people.
Buying prepaid ahead of time again. Most of the people who are into this kind of business can afford it. I don't see like a lot of people, maybe people who are running big businesses but the other, let's say local people like this, those who don't have, let's say big business, like African Delights, they're not big as compared to places like Alisa Hotel and other places. So I think it will affect us when it comes to, because the system is how will I say it, is aishi.
It's going to worry. Others will be worried. Others will not worry them in terms of financial status of this country and others. So maybe me, I can buy, but somebody cannot buy. Some people have been buying 100 cedis 3 days. So such person, imagine 1 month. You see, if you divide it to a year in normal terms now, it's what others.
So you had there some customers reacting to that announcement by the Electricity Company of Ghana, admonishing them to top up with at least a month's worth of credit as this emergency or urgent upgrade takes place? Well, we can hear from Dr. Kwabena Donkor because this announcement has only increased concerns about a potential power crisis, now exacerbated by the shutdown of at least Sonon Asogli. Well, Dr. Donkor has described the situation as troubling, and he is questioning the latest action by the Electricity Company of Ghana, and he is urging the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission to address the matter with utmost urgency. Have a listen.
The situation is very lethargic. For the next administration, peak demand hours from 6 p.m. to 11 p.m. And again, I would expect the media to really take on the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, the regulator, because the regulator can demand from ECG far more information, and ECG is legally bound to provide the information. So I expect to hear the regulator, PURC, speak to this. How many people know the type of meters they even? So why should ECG's maintenance, whether critical or routine, of their meters impact on my ability to buy my power purchase? And if it affects me, what sort of compensation am I entitled to? What are my rights?
Had the former Power Minister, Dr. Kwabena Donkor, speaking to the issues of power in general, as well as the ECG's announcement of the upgrade of its new meters. But you heard Dr. Kwabena Donkor complain about how the whole power situation or sector is being handled. And he says that the current administration is doing that in a very lethargic manner. And it looks as though they intend to pass on the problem to the next administration. Well, the MPP's manifesto spokesperson on energy, Kwadwo Nsafua Poku, he has dismissed the claims of power interruptions across the country. He's rather blaming the IPPs for breaching the agreement with government, leading to the current power outages being experienced. He says what is being experienced is not a power crisis as such, but rather localized faults.
The commercial losses, which is illegal connection, non-payment of debt and all those things, there should have been policies to rectify that. There isn't. There hasn't been. So me and you, the consuming public, do not pay for the full electricity that is generated. And that has been that every day there is accumulation of debt. Sonia Asogli is old money. All IPPs have always been Sonia Asogli decided that because government owes me money, I have a power purchase agreement with government, but at this stage, I can no longer operate while government owes me money, pay me $60 million, or I can no longer operate. They went against the agreement they have with government, which is the power purchase agreement, and shut down. If you've heard the management of PCG over the weekend, he said that, look, the power being generated is to go towards those that are generating it. So they also ceased giving money to Sonia Asogli because they cannot be given when other people generate. They give the money to the person who is not generating. So that issue of Sonia Asogli is to be dealt with by the Ministry of Finance.
Now, one of the major criticisms that has come up in the wake of the inconsistencies when it comes to power supply is that it intends to pass on the problem to whichever administration that will take over from them.
Yeah, we all say that government is continuous. I don't think anybody will intentionally tiptoe around the problem and pass it on. There is maximum effort to resolve this problem. What I believe there is all hands on deck approach to restructure the sector. That hasn't happened.
You heard there the MPP's manifesto spokesperson on energy, Kwadwo Poku, speaking to me earlier on the Morning Star. You're still listening to the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Let's turn our attention to issues relating to the media and the recent arrest of a journalist with Kumasi-based Wontumi FM over alleged disinformation. Alleged misinformation. Well, the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association has accused the Ghana Police Service of overstepping its boundaries over the arrest of Wontumi FM's Oheneba Esiedu. The presenter is accused of engaging in misinformation about the upcoming polls. Now, Giba argues that the National Media Commission is the right institution mandated to check such offences. Now, it wants that the actions of the police could lead to self-censorship by journalists, which could affect free speech. Now, we can hear from the president of the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, Cecil Sonkwa Mills, speaking to the issue.
The slow and no action. Well, NMC is represented here, so this is actually to you. The slow and no action to date of the National Media Commission, allowing the police to take the whole reaction in a major media disinformation event that directly oversteps the constitutional mandate of the NMC is troubling. This systematically creates a precarious situation where governments can selectively prosecute journalists who publish unfavorable stories using this act.
You had the president of the Ghana Independent Broadcasters Association, Cecil Sonkwa Mills. Let's go over the telephone line and speak to GH1 and Starr News' Emmanuel Bigbo for some more in relation to this. So, Emmanuel, what is the basis of Gibber's response or reaction to this particular issue? Emmanuel, can you hear me? Emmanuel, can you hear me? Well, he doesn't seem to be hearing me. We can try again as and when we are able to reach him on the telephone line. Definitely will bring that to you. You're still listening to the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Let's turn our attention to issues related to Parliament. Now, governance expert Dr. Frederick Oduro has described the majority leader, Alexander Kwamna Apenyo Markin's recall of Parliament as unnecessary. The Efutu MP last week triggered a recall of the House to attend to urgent government business barely a fortnight to the 7th December general election. However, speaking to Lantam Papanko on GH1 Today on our sister station GH1 Television, Dr. Oduro said the performance of the 8th Parliament is a worst in the country's democratic rule.
This Parliament should limp to the end. I wish they never meet.
You wish they never meet?
I wish they don't even meet to dissolve.
Why?
Look at how they started. And it is a mirror of how they're going to end. Okay. So for me, as things stand, if we were to write about the history of our Parliament in the Fourth Republic, and if I were to be sitting in my office marking scripts for Parliament, surely this Parliament will go down as one of the worst. I may not blame members of Parliament per se, but the composition of the Parliament and the unfortunate regard we have for our political parties rather than for the nation has brought about this upon us.
You had the governance expert, Dr. Frederick Oduro, while reacting to the recall by the NPP caucus in Parliament, the majority caucus in Parliament, member of the NDC's communication team and former MP for Myong, Mohamed Abdulaziz, described the recall as an abuse of the parliamentary processes.
It's an abuse of the parliamentary process that barely about some 12 days to the elections, the Afonyo Markin is making a request for Parliament to be recalled. In any case, when you refer to him as a majority leader, I was surprised. Because as we speak today, the MPP in Parliament is 135. And the NDC is 136 per the ruling of the Speaker. He has 2 weeks period for Parliament to reconvene.
You had there the former member of Parliament for Myong and NDC, a member of the NDC communication team, Abdul Aziz, speaking on G Today earlier today. Well, we can also hear from the NPP MP for Anyaso Tum, Dr. Domako Kisi. He says the recall is in the country's best interest.
One key thing that has come out of all the many things that have happened is that there's some very crucial things in the interest of Ghana that should not be left to, let me say, how people feel about their party or how people feel necessarily about government. Some things cannot wait. One thing on top of the list certainly is budgetary needs for the first quarter of next year.
You had the Member of Parliament for Anyaso Tom, Dr. Adomako Kisi there. This is still the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Let's turn our attention to Agbugburushi, where fire has destroyed several wooden structures. Now, the cause of the fire is unknown and casualty has been recorded. Well, the inferno started last night, prompting an immediate response. 2 fire tenders were dispatched from the Accra City and Circle Fire Stations. Assistant Division Officer Alex King Nati of the Ghana National Fire Service's Public Affairs Department has been speaking to Star News about the development.
This is Abiogun Alex King Nati coming to you live from Agbugburushi, around the Bola or the refuse dump where our officers from Atlantic, Accra City and Circle have currently put a raging fire under control. There are pockets of flames though, but as it stands now, it's been contained from further spread. So it's a very congested area. Accessibility was, so kudos to the gallant officers from Accra City, our station at Makola, and to the team from Circle who have all done a good job in containing the fire. Accessibility is a problem. Even to get to the scene was a very big problem for them, but as it stands now, they've managed to contain it from further spread, and it's difficult to replenish because there's no hydrant, there's no functional hydrant here, or even accessibility to go and replenish and come back.
You heard the Assistant Division Officer for the Ghana National Fire Service, Alex King Nati, there. Let's go over the telephone line and speak to Obed Kingaglo, who is at the scene of the incident. Now, Obed, what is the situation at the moment? Obed, can you hear me? Unfortunately, technology is on our ally this afternoon. This is still the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Let's now get ready and bring you the very latest in the world of sports. Jones Aji will be joining me with the latest sports news shortly. It's still the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. And so far, we've been talking about the instance of the fire incident in Agbugburushi. Let's now bring you the latest in sports. Jones Aji is here. Good afternoon to you, Jones. What's in sports?
All right, so we have news from Prosper Ogum, coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko. But then we start off from boxing because Abigail Kote has made history by becoming Ghana's first female world champion. She achieved this remarkable feat with a dominant unanimous points decision over Saginta Bedi from the United Kingdom, with the judges scoring the fight in a favor 98-91, 97-91, and then 98-91. So Abigail Kote secured the Women International Boxing Federation's Super Bantamweight title on Sunday night at the Bokum Boxing Arena in Accra. She has now a record of 9 wins in 10 bouts with 6 knockouts and 1 loss. She's currently ranked number 1 in Ghana and 50th in the world out of 170 boxers in the bantamweight division. Now, coach of Indiana Stars, Yawa Champon, has been sacked after the club lost 2-0 to Kumasi Asante Kotoko at home in the Ghana Premier League yesterday. Indiana Stars have won just 1 game in their last 5 games, drawing 3 and then losing 1, and lie 14th on the table with just 12 points. Meanwhile, Dr. Prosper Nate Ogum, coach of Kumasi Asante Kotoko, believes his side's victory at Doma will be a confidence booster for his team, who had lost 4 straight games before yesterday's victory. He's also urged the fans to continue keeping faith with the team.
That it's a grounds that if you are not calm and composed in your tactical executions or technical executions, you will end up making mistakes. So we emphasize the need for them to be calm. And if you realize we're calm throughout, and I think that actually helped us very well. And are always united. Players of teams that always win are very confident and always united. And once we've won, I'm sure the confidence will bounce back, and then they will stick together more and then work harder than before, because this is just the beginning of better things to come. The team, we heard their cry, we heard their criticisms, we took them in good faith. They also stood behind us, and today we have won. So together we've won. I want to thank them for how loyal they have been, for how patient they have been with us, and for how determined they are with us as a team. So we want to say thank you to them.
So that was Coach Dr. Prosper Natogum of Kumase Asante Kotoko. That should do it for sports. My name is Jones Aji.
Thank you very much, Jones, with the very latest in the world of sports. Now, residents of Shiabu in the Ablekuma West municipality are relying on hope for government intervention to free them from the continuous invasion of their homes by tidal waves. Most of the residents have had their homes constantly submerged by water as a result of the waves, now forcing some to relocate, and those without money to rent new homes have had to resort to patching with relatives and friends. Obed Kingaglo was there and filed this report.
The sea is currently eroding our street. That's the current situation at Shiabu Dansoma Beach Road. That is where we are now. That's the exact location. Initially, we started lobbying about this thing. That was for 12 years ago. The sea is gradually taking over the land, and nothing has been done about it for the past 12 years. Look at the building over there. There were buildings all over around this place. The rocks you can see over there. It's not done. It won't only take the street out, but what it's going to do next is it's going to invade into the households. It's going to cross the streets, and the people along the households, everyone is going to move away, because this is nature. We can't fight nature.
With no sign of the sea receding anytime soon, what you see behind me is a road network eaten up by the rising sea waters. Residents here in Shiabu are demanding answers and solutions.
Can you want a few bench bachelor to be on a toilet here, the public toilet here, fair a wash away. It will be an a gutters number for Yamaya toilet here. Be an air at a gutters anywhere MP Baba Kumomachu. Nay, gay, Baba fair, a gutter, a hawa, Naka gutter, be an edge of public toilet. One power honorable Osla Fayake. Kaja be an eke ya, Kaji Eba fair sea defense. Nigata and Eba Bacha, egg machine, walk a 2 bar family.
Politicians say I'm a Amalia, ni Amamalio Mambi. But not Amalia Mambi, ever to more Hemokali Coberton and politicians.
So you had the residents of the Ablekuma West constituency, specifically in the Shiabu area, lamenting about the invasion of their homes by tidal waves, and they talking about the numerous promises to address the problem, not seeing the light of day, and say that it will play a role in who they cast their ballot in favor of come December 7, which is just some 12 days away, where Ghanaians go to the polls to elect a president for the next 4 years, as well as members of parliament. This is still the Star Midday News on Star 103.5 FM. Time now to bring you the campaign trail. You're welcome. You're welcome once again to the campaign trail here on Star 103.5 FM, where we track where the contenders are as they prepare for the December 7 general election. The Vice President and flag bearer of the governing New Patriotic Party is here in the Greater Accra region. He is inspecting some projects. We'll be touching base with our reporter who is with him at the moment. In the camp of the NDC, the flag bearer John Dramani Mahama, former president, he has begun his tour of the Western region. We'll also touch base with our reporter who is currently part of the team as they crisscross the country. One of the major issues going into the elections is security. Considering that 8 persons lost their lives in the last election in 2020. Security has been a major issue for many electorates, for many Ghanaians, I beg your pardon. While chairman of the Election Security Task Force and Inspector General of Police, Dr. George Akuffo-Dampare, he has been doing some reassurances. He's been reassuring the electorates that we have this under control and you are free and safe to go out there and cast your ballot. Well, Dr. George Akuffo-Dampare, he has urged citizens to report troublemakers to the service for swift arrest. The IGP says that they are prepared to face persons who disturb the peace on election day. He made the appeal during a visit with the Police Management Board to the Accra Newtown branch of the Church of Pentecost.
You are praying for us, and by that prayer, God is giving us the wisdom to act by being very professional and keeping the peace. You pray for yourself, and God is using you as a vessel to ensure that you don't become an agent of insecurity in the country. You pray for others, and God, you have allowed God to use you as a vessel to connect with them and take them from the hands of the bad people by the words you share with them, so that they themselves also will not allow them. We may not reach everybody. So what it means is that there could be a few others who still think that they can make an attempt to disturb the peace of this country. And those people, you may be in the community, you may hear of them, you may see them. Our prayer, allow yourself to be used as a vessel by God to let us know those people, so that we will give them a place that has been designated for them. Because as we speak, we have vacancies at that place. The police cells, there are vacancies there. The prisons, there are vacancies there. So that proactively, we price them out of our community and then keep them where they want to be kept, so that we continue to live our life to the fullest during the rest of the election period and beyond. Papa, this is all what we are here for. But the supremacy of it is to come and give thanks to God and for us to continue.
You had there the Inspector General of Police and the Chairman of the Election Security Task Force, Dr. George Akuffo-Dampare. So that is from the camp of the security, a major stakeholder going into this election. Let's now touch base with some of the leading contenders. We're starting off with the Vice President and flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahamudu Bawumia. Now, he at the moment is in the Greater Accra region, and he is expected to inspect the ongoing reconstruction of the Ghana International Trade Fair Center 4 years after its demolition. Let's go over the telephone line. Musa Lansa is with the team. Musa, can you hear me? Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Dedei.
Okay, has the Vice President and flag bearer of the NPP arrived at the site yet?
Yes, he actually left a while ago. He engaged with engineers and then the workers there and promised that within the 8 months that they've given, that this project will be completed. That's the International Convention and Exhibition Center, which is currently ongoing. he would make sure that every resource they need to make it completed on time is given to them, and that his focus will be on the creative industry, as he's going to find a way of creating a space for the private sector to partner with government in that area to make sure that creatives get their money's worth for whatever they are doing. I had a conversation with the CEO of the Ghana International Conference Center, Trade Fair Center. She tells me that they have 3 hurdles they needed to deal with. The issue of squatters who were living in the facility, which took them a long time to clear, and the issue of COVID-19 coming in with the lockdowns and all that. They didn't have the time to go out to meet with investors, but now they've been able to do that, and the investors are upcoming. And so within 8 months, they'll finish with the convention and exhibition center, and then move to the construction of a hotel and a mall inside the Trade Fair Center, as well as a made in Ghana center where solely Ghanaian products and Ghanaian services will be offered at the center. So the vice president had left there, and the workers have gone back to work, and they're hoping to complete the convention center in 8 months.
Right. So beyond the commissioning, what else would the vice president and flag bearer of the NPP be up to in terms of campaigning?
Well, so earlier this morning, he commissioned the ultra-modern office for the Land Commission. As part of their digitization agenda, they've opened a new office complex around the 37 Military Hospital, and that is a one-stop center for all the activities at the national level for all the departments under the Land Commission. From there, he went to a trade fair, and now he's gone to Tema Community 22, where he's going to commission some housing projects that have been put together by the Tema Development Corporation.
All right, thank you very much. Musa Lansa is with the campaign team of the vice president and flag bearer of the NPP, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. Quickly would also touch base with the camp of the NDC's flag bearer, John Dramani Mahama, who is currently in the Western region as we speak. So like I did say, the flag bearer of the NDC, John Dramani Mahama, is in the Western region where he's begun his campaign there. Now he's expected to engage the Western Regional House of Chiefs and the clergy. Abdul Hanan Adam is our man on the beat to join us over the telephone line. Hanan, where exactly in the Western region is the former president and flag bearer of the NDC?
Well, now currently we are at the Western Regional House of Chiefs, which is in the secondary municipality of the Western region, where he's currently engaging with the Regional House of Chiefs and highlighting some of his visions and policies. But the key highlight of today's or this morning's engagement has to do with a number of issues that the chiefs are raising, which has to do with unemployment and heavily concentrated on illegal mining activities, which they believe is taking away a lot of opportunities in the region. Talk about how the region is blessed with a lot of natural resources, manganese, bauxite, diamond, rubber, oil plantation, amongst others. But one of the issues has to do with illegal mining, like I mentioned, and some of them are saying that the acquisition or the granting of mining lease needs to be decentralized, where the chiefs or the traditional rulers need to have some level of input into who is given concession and how these companies come into their jurisdiction to mine. Because he says that some of the chiefs are blamed as part of those who, encourage the destruction of farmlands and water bodies. But they say that is not the case, because sometimes they are in their respective jurisdiction and they are giving notices about some companies coming into mine, and some of these companies happen to distract. One of the chiefs even make the point that there's an estate called the rubber estate, which has been taken over by illegal miners, destroying some of these areas. So they appeal to the former president that if given the opportunity and he comes into office, he needs to attend to these issues so that the destruction of the river bodies, especially the Praia River. Even this morning, there are a lot of concern of the area that illegal miners have come back to the area and they are destroying these areas. So now that is the key highlight of the former president's engagement with the traditional rulers here in Sekondi.
Okay, and so when he's done with that, where is he expected to go?
Well, he's expected to visit the Assemblies of God's Church again here in Sekondi, where he's expected to engage with religious leaders, and that includes both Muslims and the Christian community, where he's expected again to engage them and outline his vision. And over there, that engagement, we understand, is going to be centered on instilling the moral discipline in society, and again, corruption and accountability. So those are the three areas that he will be engaging the clergy later this afternoon.
Thank you very much. Abdul Hanan Adam is a man on the beat with regard to the John Dramani Mahama campaign, who is a flag bearer of the NDC. Still the campaign trail here on Starr 103.5 FM, precisely on the Starr Midday News. Let's return to the camp of the governing New Patriotic Party. And the Ashanti Regional Minister, Simon Osei-Mensah, he is expressing confidence that Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's chances of winning the elections. Now, speaking to Sewami here, the former Member of Parliament for Busumtri said Dr. Bawumia will be the first presidential candidate after Flight Lieutenant Jerry John Rawlings to win an election on his first attempt.
And I'm telling you, His Excellency the Vice President will be the first presidential candidate, apart from the late former President Jerry John Rawlings, who will go for presidential elections and win for the first time, and he's going to get the largest margin of victory.
You're sure?
Very sure. Very, very sure. What hasn't he done? They should come here. When he come, they talk about KGTA Dubai. The problem Dubai. And they did not even complete. Then they talk about Aswansi market. Then they talk about Atosu market. Then they will mention Utafu market. The only market they completed, they started and completed, is Aswansi market. A Buaka market, even now, is not fully complete. Atosu market wasn't complete. I had to go there to solve some problems. Tafu market wasn't complete. And then we have completed 37 market projects. 37 completed.
You had there the Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah speaking to GH1 and Star News' Sewa Ami here. And that will be it for the campaign trail. Thank you very much for your company. See you tomorrow. My name is Dedei. Have a good afternoon.